You're watching MMA Oddsbreaker. You're watching the severely hyperactive Joe Warren. Have you taken your Adderall today yet, there, buddy?
I don't even know what that is. You know what I'm saying? I remember they tried to give me that as a kid, and I'd spit it out.
I wanted to start the recording right when you came on, but I want to make sure your camera was working. The first 15 seconds of our conversations are retarded. Like, he's flexing and telling me he's the baddest man on the planet, and like this whole bit.
Get some! I told you. I fight next week. Baddest man's back.
I know.
Get ready.
Well, first let's talk about the show a little bit. Let's talk about Fight Master. You were kind of, because we were both down at the same time filming it, so I know the editing. I know it was edited out of order, what they showed and all that stuff. But you were kind of under the gun from the very beginning because you were the only active competitor on that coaching staff. Everybody else, Randy, Frank, what's his name? He was never there. Oh yeah, Greg Jackson. Their guys are just, that's all they do is coach. They threw, like, Bjorn kind of screwed you by throwing you out there and going, yeah, here are these legends of the sport. Go ahead and coach against them even though you're still competing.
Yeah, and a little bit, they told me that, Bjorn and Bellator always told me that they had some stuff up their sleeve for me on television, but they didn't really give me the whole rundown of what was happening on Fight Master like all the other guys did. Frank and Greg and Randy, they knew how all the structure was going. I had no idea. I got there, and they threw me in. You saw that,
Yeah.
I had the best personalities on the team, but I don't know about the talent. All of us together, the four of us and all of us coaches, I was really kind of sad how they didn't, open it up a little bit more, stayed real narrow-minded, the show, you know what I'm saying? Because there's so much stuff going on. We coach twice a day, these guys, remember?
There was a lot of stuff going on that, like I even noticed, like, they shut the assistant coaches' mics off during the fights, and it's all about the head coaches and they're screaming. And, like, you had Mark Montoya in your corner, who doesn't really yell that much to begin with.
No.
But he had some stuff that when we were fighting against you, he was saying some stuff that just flabbergasted me from the other corner of his brain power and how smart he is on the other side of the cage. And it kind of made it difficult to coach against you guys because of the dynamic of what was going on in there.
And that's why I brought Mark, because I knew the intensity I was going to have to put behind him to teach these young kids to just take a beating and try to pull a win out. And then I had Mark, that was my real coach and someone that I can believe in. It's easy to kind of have that. And that's the kind of dynamic I wanted to see. You guys working with Randy, Damasio and Joey working with Greg's team, and like the 8 days that we had with each guy. We should have seen all the stuff you taught to people if he would have used it in the actual fight. So, but, I don't know,
Editing is editing. It is what it is. They're going to do with it, how it, obviously the Andrea Richter is one of the producers. She did a great job with it. And obviously Bjorn and Tim and those guys with Bellator put it together very, very well. Now, let's put it down to brass tacks. You and Frank Shamrock sucked, and Jackson and Couture is the best. That's just how it worked.
Yeah, if there's another season, which there should be, then I'm going to crush everybody, because everyone's going to want to be on the baddest man's team. They're going to be like, I love this guy. He's going to look at what he did for these other guys. I don't know. You know what I'm saying. You know how it went down there. You guys had some talented guys. There were some real talented cats and then some new guys. So, you never know what was going to happen.
We had a real good mix. We had the number, starting out, Couture's had number 4 ranked. We had number 2, number 4, number 5, and number 12. And our guy that Mike Bronzulis, who was 12th, is the guy that gets in the finals. Yeah, so we actually had a coach. Like, Couture got to show their coaching ability because we had the best guys, and they didn't get coached through. So it was like,
you didn't get to see that.
Right.
And my wife and everyone watching Fight Master, they're like, I saw the same episode 10 times. They're just kind of excited to see the personalities. I don't know. I have no creative control over this. They just say get crazy, and I was pretty crazy. I was there.
I'm kind of upset they didn't show us doing our naked weight cutting in the sauna. They didn't show that at all, and they didn't show the lunch table banter between you, me, Frank, and Mo Smith,
or the Greg head that we were messing around with. That was hilarious. So.
All right, so let's move on. You got Nick Kirk coming up here. You're 8-3. He's 10-2. You guys are fighting next week. During the in Uncasville at Mohegan Sun Arena. Have you been that place before? Have you fought there before?
Never been up there. But Bellator, we fight a lot of little casinos all around the country. You know,
it's a nice place. My first fight ever in the UFC 45.
Really?
I fought Matt Hughes for the title. Was in Mohegan Sun. It's a great spot. It's a great location. Small, 5,000 seat. The problem is that I like to gamble after my fights. You can't gamble in that casino because they don't serve alcohol after like 10 o'clock on the floor. So after your fights are over, you can't drink and you can't gamble. It's like
I heard it's kind of a big complex where you maybe can go outside and do. I don't know. You know, all I know it's in the middle of nowhere, and I'd like to be closer when I beat somebody up than way over there. So you're not coming out, are you?
No, not to this one. I've got some stuff I got to do in L.A. and Andrea and Liz. Andrea and Liz didn't call me. They didn't call me up and tell me I was coming. So
no, we were supposed to have the Fight Master final, and then there was a problem.
Yeah, everything got kind of pushed. It was supposed to be this weekend, and everything's getting pushed back, and
yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe I'll come on. Maybe I'll come when they have the actual final because our guy's in it. You know, with Mike Bonazula. So I think what happened, too. Randy's away filming Expendables 3, and you got to have the head coach there when he's fighting, and just couldn't get it done at the right time. So no, they were going to fly him back from Bulgaria all the way back here for that. So
for
one night.
You know, yeah, things that would have been shitty, you know. But yeah, I'm excited, man. September 7th, finally get a chance to get back in the cage. I hadn't really fought under a Spike banner. You know, it was an MTV2, but still Spike. So, you know, I'm excited to get in there and put a hole through a Bellator cage with this Nick Kirk's face and get an opportunity to get a chance to maybe fight here in November again.
Let's talk about highlight reels. You fought Alexis Villa, who's another great wrestler, and got starched. You got starched.
First punch in that fight.
And you fight Pat Curran and get starched again. So now everyone's going, okay, Joe Warren's a great wrestler. He's aggressive. He's super excited. He's hyperactive. He's always in great shape. He's strong. But if I clip him, I can make him go down. Didn't really work with Owen Evinger, but you didn't show your striking game at all either because you're worried about getting knocked out again. We've talked about this off camera before.
Not really, or just making sure that I'm pulling that win out, you know. But you know, chin people can talk about suspect chins. You know, I don't have a suspect chin. I got hit with one of the strongest Cubans in the world. It was I threw a right hand and leaded forward, and he hit me with one of the hardest punches I've been hit with. First punch of the whole fight. Yeah. You know, I believe I was the best I ever was that day. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just it really puts your perspective of fighting. You know, not like wrestling, where you can be the best person in that cage, but if you don't technically do what you're supposed to do, you can lose easily. You know, so that's what I did. My technique was wrong, and I got caught. You know, Pat Kern, it was the fourth round. Yeah. I took like 87 unanswered punches. If you don't think this chin's hard, I never went to sleep there. You know what I'm saying? You could hit me with a bat. I mean, it was a different kind of mindset. I was getting hit, and I told myself, don't shut your eyes. There's no way. And then I lost all control, but I was still getting pummeled. So I don't believe that it's that. I believe I'm a champion. We're wrestling background, and I believe you come from adversity, you know, and things happen. You know, every fight I've had has been pretty intense. So, you know, I'm excited to be able to get some of these fights to impress myself coming up here.
What did Mark Montoya do differently? He's your striking coach. What did he grab you for? Because you had some time off to think and really look at it and analyze. What did he make you do differently with your striking? Because you're like a typical wrestler. You throw a punch, you're coming forward, your shoulders never rotate. You really had to learn how to. But when you rotate your shoulders when you're hitting mitts, you're knocking the gloves right off knocking the mitts right off of Mark's hand. What did he do to help you kind of put that out there so when it's time to fight, you're still able to do that? But still maintain your wrestling background.
Mark Montoya, I came to Mark when I had the Bellator belt. So I already had a belt, had no idea how to strike. I was just winning wrestling matches. I'm serious. You know, so when I got to Mark, he taught me fundamentals, how to turn my hand over, how to throw a jab, how to throw a right. And it took the last year and a half of those fundamentals to now get into a camp and not have to learn anything in this camp, just the structured training every single day, heart rate training. And it's a lot of stuff where, you know, exactly, I'm a wrestler, I move forward, you know, being able to understand I got these big old monkey arms. If I can use those, I can keep people away from things. And me having no technique before was a scary situation in that cage. I wasn't sure what was coming. I believe I'm a veteran now, battle tested. And I understand wherever it's going to go in that cage, and I'm as good, or I'm at least technically ready for wherever I'm going to go. Before, I had no idea what was going to happen when we hit the ground. It was scary, or it was scary on my feet. I didn't want to go right because I wasn't sure what kick was coming. You know, I believe now I'm just a little more educated about the game.
What's going to happen when you crush Nick Kirk? Where does that put you in line and within Bellator?
Oh, I mean, I guarantee I'm getting a title shot soon. If I'll have to fight one more fight, and then I'll be in line for a shot. So, I mean, I'm going to get another shot here, and I'm going to crush a hole through this Brazilian that's there. Take this little boy and show him what a man will do to you.
Let's talk about wrestling for a minute. We're on the block. We're on the chopping block coming up here September 7th, actually. I think they're having the next vote. It's been hectic. It's been crazy, even for guys that I tried to make the Olympic team, tried to make the world team. I never made it, but I still have a passion for the sport. I'm really trying to push hard using the old Oklahoma Sooner contacts to make sure everyone gets into it. You were on the world team, and you were picked to make the 2008 games, and you tripped and fell and didn't make it, but it's still a passion of yours. What have you been doing personally, trying to make sure that wrestling's on the next games in 2012?
Well, I'm on the Save Olympic Wrestling board. I've been doing Save Olympic Wrestling camps with Spike, Bellator. Went down to New Mexico and did one at Greg Jackson's, doing one at the Rhino Sport Gallery. Do just whatever we can. You know, I've been trying to get out there and really use my technique to help, free technique sessions around the country, just to help that out. It really comes down to this vote. So, I mean, as long as people vote and stay positive, there's so many of us around there that wouldn't be where we are today without wrestling. And the people don't understand that aren't from the Midwest or that East Coast area. That is the way of life, you know, and without that, me and you aren't here right now. You know, and I really believe that we're in jail or we're somewhere crazy. You never know. Okay?
About to get picked up to go to jail if it wasn't for wrestling.
It's just keeping us focused. Yeah. It gives us something to keep focused. So I believe that it's not going to go anywhere. I haven't believed from the beginning that this can go anywhere. Hopefully I don't have to eat my words, but I just don't believe with the way that it is, not just in the U.S., but internationally, how big wrestling is. To take that away from the games, just drop the Olympic Games completely.
Yeah,
you know,
it doesn't make sense. When is the next free clinic? When's the next free Save Olympic Wrestling clinic that you're doing?
I'm going to do a clinic. I think it all depends. I might do this Victory Wrestling clinic, wrestle a guy in Oklahoma here in the end of October, Madison Square Garden, December 1st. I was going to wrestle Penn State, and I'm going to wrestle some super match. I don't really care. I'm still the baddest man. I don't care who they put in there. But I think if everything goes well, the next one will be at the Rhino Sport Gallery in Denver.
Keep me posted. If it is, I want to come up. I want you to bring me in as one of the clinicians. I definitely want to come in and help out.
Well, you're welcome in Denver always. You know, it's like second home for you right now.
Yeah, I know. It's, Amy just moved down from Denver to Vegas. She's going back here a couple weeks to go back and see her family, but we're always up and back and forth. So, my family and your family will be seeing each other come Thanksgiving for sure.
Yep.
We'll be up there. Now, the last quick before we get out of here, you and I have talked about when we were on the show filming, and you know, Chad and everybody came down, and you were talking to the USA president, and we're USA Wrestling president, we're trying to get stuff put together. You were like, look, if USA Wrestling would come to me and go, look, here's X amount of money, and we need you to come back in and win a world title for us just to keep our Olympic wrestling going, that you would do it. Do you still feel that way, and could you still do it? Because wrestling's a different animal than MMA. It's a totally different style, totally different mindset, totally different physical ability. Do you still believe that if 2012 rolled along, you could be on that team and win a gold for the U.S. in Greco?
Yeah, hands down. I've constantly believed this from the day one. I mean, I haven't got any worse. I'm a better wrestler now than I've ever been. The more mature a man gets, like we get, the better we get. You know, I'm not using power now. I'm using just being smart. You know, a lot of the stuff that I was winning with when I stopped, now I've perfected. I believe I'm still the best wrestler in the world. I believe if I had only to focus on wrestling, then I could win. I'm the only supporter of my family, so right now I got to take care of my family. Right now I'm making money fighting. You know, I would rather not fight anymore and wrestle. I mean, come on, that's who I am. You know, I can't get knocked out and hurt. I just don't believe I can be stopped now or whenever. And I believe, worlds are here in the next what, 2014?
Yeah, 2014.
The worlds are in Vegas.
Yeah.
So let's see if I can get a belt in the 135 weight class, and then maybe go get another belt at 60 kilos. That's where I'm still strong. I think I'm the strongest and fastest I've ever been. I've never been injured, and I just think I'm in a good situation. Personally, financially. Usually when you're coming up hard, trying to get those things, life's hard. You're going through a lot of stuff. You got to deal with it. So to have a stable platform, you never know what could happen.
What if it came out of brass tacks and you made almost just enough amount of money to provide for your family, but your wife had to go back to work at least part-time to make things function? Because I know the deal that you guys had. She's going to support you till you were done, and now you're fighting. It's her turn to sit back and relax. Would she make that sacrifice again and go back to work for a short period of time to make sure you can make the Olympic team or world team?
Yeah, the reason she's not working is for our children. We had children, so it's more important for them than us right now. So, it's not going to work that way anymore. I'll take care of it. But if she had to, yeah, she will. She's a warrior, man. But I think when I'm in a situation here in Colorado, so close to all my coaches and so easy to be part of that organization again, I think it's just it's a really friendly place for me. It's like going home, going back to your wrestling room. You know what I mean? Going back to my coaches that love me and the place I won at. Instead of jumping into a cage somewhere where someone wants to kill you. You know what I mean? It's two different things. People can look at it both ways. People would die to have what I have in fighting, but have no idea the difference. It's fighting and wrestling are different, man. 100% different. That's why the person that is a good college wrestler could be a terrible fighter, because it's just not the same. It's a mentality. It's if you have that push and you're able to still open up. It's still hard to open up, as a wrestler. Like, you're strong, you're tight. So to open your mind and be able to push like you do in a college atmosphere, but be able to do that in MMA, doesn't always translate. All
right, Joe. Thanks for coming on to MMA Oddsbreaker. I appreciate it. It was a great time. Thanks for finally getting your work out on Skype. I know you're more of an eye chat guy, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, sorry. No, I'm all set up, so I'll just keep this on tonight. Take a shot.
All right, buddy. Good luck.
I said hi, and anytime, man. Anytime.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you soon. Good luck next week.